We all have her within us, that girl who rises with the sun, embracing the day with open arms and a heart full of dreams. But to be honest, sometimes she just feels miles away, lost in the chaos of life's demands. I was there too, caught in a cycle of some days and what ifs, until I realized the only thing standing between me and becoming that girl was me. This isn't just my journey, it's a path that we can all walk, transforming our lives one day, one habit, and one mindset shift at a time. If you're seeking a sign, a nudge, or just a bit of inspiration to kickstart your transformation, you're in the right place. Welcome to our journey of becoming that girl together. I wanted 2024 to be the year that I hit the ground running with my goals, but it did not turn out that way for me, and to be honest with you, I'm really glad that it didn't. The things that I was doing, that I was thinking, that I was feeling, none of that was getting me closer to the version of myself that I wanted to be, and none of it was making me happy. So I basically took every single aspect of my life, from my work, my beliefs, my spiritual health, mental health, physical health, every aspect that you could imagine, and I put it into a bird's eye view to myself and asked, what would these look like if I was the best and happiest version of myself? To which your girl answered, not how they freaking look right now. So I took some time and I did a ton of trial and error, like a ton. I mixed up the order of things. I took certain things away. I got grumpy that some of those things got taken away, but they needed to be because they weren't good for me. I added in new things until I eventually concocted a routine and habits that make me feel amazing, that are healthy for me, and that truly align with the version of myself that I want to be. This video is to mark entering my that girl era. You deserve to feel amazing and to love your life and to love yourself. So if you feel like that things are just too much and it's hard to take a step back, sometimes taking a step back is more productive than just to keep pushing through, because you can really reevaluate and figure out what's going to work best for you before you can move forward in an even more efficient way. So it's just like the saying, if you take one step back to take 10 steps forward, which was a mindset I really had to adopt because I don't like to waste time. I just always feel pressured for time. But you have to know that doing a life audit and reevaluating is productive and is checking in with you, which is the most productive thing that you can do, because you are human. Sometimes you just gotta switch things up. It's okay to enter different eras of your life where things need to be different, and you need to be able to adapt and evolve those aspects of your life so that you can keep growing as a person and just be the version of yourself that you want to be. I really love the idea of that girl just because she gets things done. Her habits are on point. Her routines are on point. She loves life. She romanticizes life, and she is just a boss woman. So that is who I want to embody, and I want to inspire you if you're feeling like you need the push to do that or just some motivation, because I know January's passed, the excitement of the new year's kind of gone, and I feel like February to March is kind of like, it's a point where people are over their New Year's goals and you just kind of feel like you're in a little slump. So here's your little pick-me-up, because we're gonna get through this together. We're gonna enter this journey together, and we will become the best versions of ourselves, our that girl version of ourselves. So in this video, I really want to take you along this journey of becoming that girl and just things that I'm implementing and have changed to really feel so much better, to make my energy levels better, my confidence is boosted, and feel like I'm even more efficient and more productive than I was before. And that has just made the biggest difference, and just some little mentality shifts that I've made that actually was my goal. If you watch my 2024 reset, it was to reprogram my mindset, which I went way deeper into this than what I had thought or had planned, which we'll get to that later in the video. But first things first, we are going to start with a glow up, because whenever I look good, I feel good. I don't know if you're that way. Comment below if you are. I knock down to-do lists. I just feel so much better because I feel more aligned with the version of myself that would actually take the time to take care of herself and her appearance. And that's really what it comes down to. What I want you to remember if you do an external glow up is to do it for you and nobody else, because you deserve to love yourself. You deserve to feel amazing, and just just for you and not a single soul else on this earth but yourself. But there were a few self-care things that I had just put on the back burner because I didn't feel like doing them. Mainly my hair. Your girl had dead ends for days and it was time for them to go. They got evicted and I feel so much better. So we're gonna go ahead and start with getting our hair cut because it felt like a literal weight was lifted off of my head. Let's go ahead and let's get into our little external glow up and then we will go on to the rest of this That Girl journey. So one thing I know for sure that the highest version or that girl version of myself would have is she would take care of her external appearance, which I'm not gonna lie, I have done the minimal amount of work that I felt like doing for a long time now, and I'm just done. I'm done with it. That's just not what a successful, happier version of myself would do. She would take care of herself inside and out. So that's what we're going to do today. We're gonna start with a haircut because I've not had my haircut since probably like, oh my gosh, maybe last summer? I don't know, it's been a while. But basically it is just so overgrown. It has so many dead ends and it just like, you can tell, I haven't styled it or anything. It just like sits, like there's just no life to it. So this is a little reminder if you feel the same way, like you've kind of been doing the bare minimum with your appearance, maybe take some extra time and some self-care to do this for yourself. Maybe go get a haircut or style your hair differently, just something that'll give you that little boost because I do feel like it makes a really big difference. That's just where we're gonna start today for me, but I really want to get these dead ends off and I would love to do like, I guess they're called curtain bangs. I don't know. I want face framing, maybe like borderline curtain bangs. I can put a picture here of what I'm going to show her. I'm going to show her like the layers of this one and then the curtain bangs of this one. So it just kind of has more movement to it because as you can tell, like it is just so long here and just doesn't have any life. Like it just sits, it feels rough. And it's not cute. I am very nervous to go because I've never been to this salon. I don't know who is doing my hair and I don't know if they're any good or not, but I'm crossing my fingers because the last couple of haircuts I've gotten, I went somewhere else and I hated the way that they came out. Also, you probably can't tell in this lighting, it's really only in the sunlight you can tell, but my hair has like a red tint to it. Years ago, I had a blonde balayage, so my ends were very, very blonde. And when I decided to get rid of it, it kept coming back, even though I dyed it like a dark brown. And I'd gotten that professionally done, but it still kept coming through the brown and it would come through in this like really ugly brassy color. I decided to start dyeing it myself. I used the Madison Reed hair dyes. I ended up dyeing it a dark brown color that had like these purple undertones to it. And if you've never dealt with hair dye before, if you have like a purple undertoned color, it's gonna fade to red, which red is the hardest color to get rid of. I had to keep re-dyeing it because it would fade to this red tinty color. And then it actually happened again a couple years later with a different hair dye. So that's kind of where we are. It's the red's peeking back through, so it's time to do a little color. We'll go to Ulta as well, and I'll show you a couple of other things that I'm going to pick up that I've been loving. I've been trying to switch over everything being non-toxic because I want to be very conscious of what is going on my skin and what's going in my hair. We're gonna go start with a haircut, and fingers crossed it comes out looking similar to these two pictures here. I know it won't be identical, but hopefully it'll be very similar. So let's go ahead. We gotta get going so we're not late, but let's head to the salon. I feel like this is the haircut that that girl version of myself would have. It feels so much better. I feel like a weight was lifted off of my head. It's ridiculous how many dead ends that I had, but I love the way that she blended these face framing pieces. All I did was ask for long layers and then some like face framing type layers in the very front near my chin, but I absolutely love the way that it came out. I can put a better after clip here, just disregard the color because we're going to be coloring it later. We're actually headed to Ulta now. I'm going to show you the hair dye that I'm going to use. It's a salon quality non-toxic hair dye, so we're going to pick that up and a couple of other things, but I can honestly say I feel so much better. So take the time to do something that makes you feel really good, whether it's going to get a haircut, going to get your nails done, going to get a tan, whatever it is that makes you feel confident and feel put together and just like a woman that conquers the world, go do that, because I promise you those little things do make a difference. So let's head to Ulta because we have a couple things we need to pick up. We are finally back home, and Ulta was kind of a bust. Well, not really, but a little bit, and it's kind of my fault because I did not pay attention to details. But basically, I went there for hair dye, a skincare product that I'm almost out of, and then to find a clean self-tanner. So I did find the hair dye, and I got the Madison Reed Medium Cool Brown hair dye. I love this one because it's free of ammonia, parabens, resveratrol, PPD, phthalates, and gluten. It's salon quality, and I do love the color that I get every single time. If you've seen my videos before, this one isn't the one I get for the fall time. The one I get for the fall is like pretty dark, like it's borderline black. But this one's just a really pretty darker brown that I feel like is good for the springtime. So it's not too dark, but it's not too light, and it'll get rid of these like red undertones, which if you're dealing with redness or anything in your hair that you want to get out of there, you want to look for an ash toned color, which don't quote me on this, I think is like green undertones. It cancels out the red, which is what the A in 6 NAV is. It's an ash color, it's an ashy brown. So as far as this is concerned, this was a win, and so was my skincare product, which I will show you kind of my routine later. This one though is just the azelaic acid suspension. It's a brightening formula, so it just helps with like dark spots because I'm on a journey to get rid of my acne scars I've had for the longest time. It's something that I have been incredibly self-conscious about since I can remember. I won't even go to the pool without makeup. I won't go to the beach without makeup. It is something that I am incredibly very self-conscious about, and it has just inhibited me in so many ways. And that's the thing with my that girl era. The version of myself that I have dreamt of being for so long would stop putting all of this off and actually take care of herself and get things done. If you are like me and you have told yourself a story for so long to where it's basically instilled limiting beliefs within you that either, for me, it was like my acne scars would never go away, or nothing's gonna work unless I go spend thousands and thousands of dollars on some kind of skin treatment, that they're just always going to be there, and it's something I'm always going to have to deal with, and maybe one day they'll just fade. That's just not true. Like, if you really want something and you want to get rid of something or you want to create something, it's up to you to do it. And the universe has your back, and as long as you are putting in the action and keeping a high vibe and aligning with those things, it will come to you. It will. I promise. So I know that was kind of an elaborate story behind my skincare, and really all of this, the haircut, the hair dye, everything, but these are things that I've just put off for a long time, and I'm done. So hopefully this inspires you to apply this to your life. But as far as the hiccup with Ulta, again, not Ulta's fault, it's totally my fault and the FDA's fault, because the tanner I was actually going for is the Loving Tan Purist. Loving Tan is my absolute favorite self-tanner I have ever used, and the coloring from Loving Tan is the best and most natural in my opinion, and it's the deepest. I did find the Loving Tan Purist tan, but it's half the size of a normal Loving Tan bottle or a regular self-tan bottle. But I just cannot justify that because it's only gonna last me maybe 2 weeks with how I use self-tanner. So we are back to the drawing board. I have been using Beauty by Earth, which is a very clean self-tanner, and from my research, I think is probably the cleanest. The only issue I have with it is I like a deep tan. Beauty by Earth isn't that deep of a tan. It's more of like, it does tan you, but it's like a glow. So while it is great and it goes on clear, it doesn't transfer to your clothes or anything. Like, you could put it on, sleep on it in white sheets, and nothing transfers. You could not wash it off because there's no color guard, so it's not gonna like transfer to your clothes or your bed or anything, which is great. And the ingredients are awesome. Like I said, it's just not a very rich color. That's what I'm on the hunt for, but I think I'm coming to realize that all of these other ones that are so rich in color do have those dyes, and that's why they're so rich in color. It is so bad for you. But I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna see if I can find a clean self tanner that will give me a good color, which I could build up the Beauty by Earth, but then I'm just going to be using it a ton more. I can't consciously use my normal self tanners anymore. Like after reading the labels, I just can't do it. This is a journey. We're gonna figure it out, and that's why I'm taking you guys along with me, because I know I'm not the only girl watching YouTube or on YouTube that uses self tanner. Okay, I am pasty white if I don't. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just genuinely feel so much better when my skin has some color to it, and I feel like my clothes look better. I feel like I look healthier. I feel like my eyes pop more. We're gonna go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna find a good self tanner and get back to you guys with what that's going to be. It is the very next day, and whenever I say I spent literally hours surfing TikTok, Google, ChatGPT, YouTube, everything you can imagine, trying to find the cleanest organic self tanner that I could possibly find. I am so serious. I felt like I was in like a tunnel for hours just looking at tanners, and then they all like blended together, and it was quite the journey. But needless to say, I did find one that I think is going to be really good. I think after all of my research that the Beauty by Earth is probably the cleanest self tanner you could get on the market. But the one I decided to go with is the Vita Liberata self tanning mousse. The bottle for this one is 6 ounces, so it's not the little tiny 3-ounce bottle that Loving Tan was, which I think would be a really great tanner because Loving Tan's probably my favorite self tanner I've ever used. But like I said, I just can't justify the price for the amount because I would literally fly through it. But the new one arrives today, so I'm excited to give it a go and see how it works. But if you're looking for a more natural, glowy self tanner, I definitely recommend Beauty by Earth. It's just not going to give you a super rich color on the first application, but you can totally layer it up. So we'll see how this one turns out. I'm really excited for it to get here today. It is absolutely mind-boggling to me the number of ingredients you need to make sure are not in a particular self tanner to make sure it's actually clean, because I feel like just any willy-nilly thing gets approved, and these things that we're putting all over our bodies are so terrible. I'm very conscious about the ingredients in my food, but I never really thought about my self tanner or about other beauty products or cosmetics or anything I was using on my body, which is very, very important. It's just as important as what goes into your body. I am gradually making that switch, and if you're wanting to make that switch too, I highly suggest doing it one product at a time, because it can be overwhelming going through all of the research and the reviews and trying to find what would work best for you. But I know that the best version of myself would be very conscious about what she's putting on her body, and she would respect her body and health enough to be conscious of those things and anything she puts in or on herself. So, and like I said, I highly suggest starting with one product at a time if you're wanting to make that switch too. That's what I'm doing, because if I did all of my products at one time, I would probably pull all of my hair out. One key thing that has been incredibly game-changing for me in transitioning into this That Girl era is getting a strategic grocery shopping list. This has significantly decreased my snacking and my sweet tooth, and I am a major sweet tooth lover. Like, I love chocolate, I love desserts, anything sweet, I'm there. So this is a big, big change for me. I can definitely tell I feel so much better. Going into the grocery store with a strategic plan, it seriously helps me minimize the fast food that I eat. Going to the grocery store that I'm closest to, getting the most random sweet tooth junk food I can find. It's actual food that I enjoy and that fits into my lifestyle. And I feel like that girl version of me, the best version of me, would have a strategic grocery shopping list. So that's exactly what it took time to do. It's easy to stick to this food and these groceries that we get every week because we truly feel good having these things. Let's grab our shopping bags and let's head to the grocery store, because we're out of food, guys. We gotta go get some more food. So this is the chicken that we get now. It's thinly sliced chicken breast. It's a big bag for about $27, but there's 40 servings in this one massive bag. And it lasts us literally for probably 2.5 weeks. We would spend so much money every week at Trader Joe's, probably like $16 at least just for 8 chicken breasts. This alone is $28 and it lasts us for so long. So if you're looking to save money and you have a Costco membership, I definitely recommend getting these. You do have to de-thaw them, but I think they honestly taste even better. We are back home and fully stocked. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a few of the key things I love to get every single week. So as you saw, we love Costco and Trader Joe's, and then sometimes we'll hit Publix, which is a grocery store that we have here in the South, and it's one I went to growing up and I love it so much. But that's kind of where we get like the little odds and ends we couldn't get anywhere else because it is a little bit more pricey. But what we have gotten today has proved to be like the most cost effective for Cooper and I both to have a healthy diet throughout the week and actually feel really good. So I'm gonna show you Costco first. If you know me at all, you know I'm a potato snob. So they have a big bag of baked potatoes for, I think it was $5.89, which is a really great price because if I get like 2 or 3 potatoes anywhere else, it's $3 just for those 2 or 3 potatoes. And in here I get like, I don't even know, probably definitely over 10. It's like it ranges per package, but it's 10 pounds per bag. So 10 pounds of baked potatoes for less than $6 is a steal. So if you have a Costco membership and you love potatoes like I do, it's just, that's my advice. Next up is this bag of Normandy vegetables. It's broccoli, cauliflower, orange, and yellow carrots. So I actually saw Gary Brecka get this and I thought if it was good enough for Gary Brecka, it's good enough for us. So we saute a whole pan of these and prep them for about 2 to 3 days at a time. And we have 1 cup of these with our lunch. And this whole bag is like $10.89, I believe, at our Costco. So $10 for a whole big bag of vegetables is really, really good. And again, it lasts us all week long and it's a really great way to get in your vegetables. So, and I recommend sauteing this. We also have our air fryer back there. We haven't tried air frying them yet, but there's a little function on there for veggies, so I'm curious to give it a shot. Comment below if you air fry your veggies and how you air fry them because I'm definitely very keen to try air frying these just to see how they taste. The next thing that we get is the thinly sliced boneless chicken breast from Costco, the frozen ones. And it's a pack of 40 servings. They're each about 4 ounces a piece, but we just defrost those and put them in the air fryer and we'll cook them for about 2 to 3 days at a time. I used to think that frozen chicken breasts were just so obnoxious to deal with, but honestly, spending $16 for only 8 chicken breasts a week versus $28 for 40 chicken breasts that last us 2.5 weeks, like you just can't beat that. Freya knows her food is on this counter somewhere. We picked up cat food cans. Can you get out of my potatoes, little miss? Come on. Come on. Get down. Come on. Okay. We also get their organic 2 dozen pasture-raised eggs. I did a lot of learning with this because there's always different terminology with eggs. There's free-range, pasture-raised, cage-fed, or cage-free. I don't know, you know what I'm saying. There's just a lot of different terminology, so it's always hard to remember which is the best. But pasture raised is the best because they're fed a vegetarian diet and they have the most outside space to roam around, so they live the best quality of life. So therefore the eggs are much healthier and they're organic too. And it's only eight something for this 2 dozen, which is crazy because at Trader Joe's we'd pay about $6 for 12. So why not get double for only $2 more, and it lasts us all week because we make egg bites and omelets. And the last thing we picked up is the Oikos 000 yogurts. Here we go. And this one has berry, strawberry, and vanilla in there. It was on sale for $9 for 18 yogurts. It's normally $13, I believe, but this will last us at least 2 weeks. Moving on to Trader Joe's, I got a Southwest chopped salad kit. I love to get salad kits. They're a great thing to toss on the side for some extra greens and fiber. And then of course some spinach because I just can't go without spinach. We love the tricolor organic peppers because we can put them in so many different things. We'll actually cut them up, put them in our omelets or our egg bites, and then also keep some to saute as a side with dinner, so we make sure to get extra veggies. And a red onion because antioxidants. And then of course some blueberries. We love to put these on top of yogurt or just have them to snack on. This is a new addition. I saw Gary Brecka get the salted version of this butter, but it's the Kerrygold Pure Irish butter. We get the unsalted, but I've heard the salted is really good too. But it's a grass-fed butter, so it's milk from Irish grass-fed cows. So grass-fed butter is supposed to be the best type of butter to get, and it tastes pretty good. I usually would get like plant-based butter, but I think this is honestly cleaner. I've enjoyed it so far, and again, like I said, if it's good enough for Gary Brecka, it's good enough for us. Listen, part of being the best version of myself is living an 80-20 lifestyle. I want to be healthy, but I also want to enjoy my life, you know? And we rounded the corner in Trader Joe's, and they are sampling these adorable chocolate donut holes, and I could not resist. I fell for the trap. I fell for the trap. They taste so good. Actually, the lady next to me that was trying it, she's like, this is better than Dunkin'. It's like 320 calories for half the package, so Cooper and I are just gonna split it. I like to make sure that what I have isn't too crazy and it's not too many calories because I don't wanna go too crazy and just go backwards on my progress. But again, I do wanna have the things that I do like because I just wanna enjoy my life, and you should too, you deserve to. So again, we're just gonna split it and enjoy having these cute little donut holes. I've actually never seen them before. If you see them in your Trader Joe's, you should try them. And sadly, they were out of my organic medium roast Trader Joe's coffee, but the coffee train must keep going. So I just got the regular, which it's pretty good. They were out of it last week too, and I had this and it tastes good, but I do prefer organic, but this is good. We picked up a couple other meal options that are just quick and easy and aren't too crazy calorically or ingredient wise. So we got the Trader Joe's meatloaf, which honestly the ingredients aren't that bad. Like compared to most things, I can pronounce all of this stuff on here. It's mainly like seasonings. The palm oil, maybe not so good, but everything else is like onion, milk, eggs, ground beef, organic tomato ketchup. It's a quick and easy dinner, and again, isn't too crazy. Another meal that we love to get from Trader Joe's is their orange chicken. This is also a really quick, easy dinner to have if you're having a busier week. I actually really want to try this in the air fryer. I haven't tried it yet, but I bet it's so good. We don't always use the sauce that it comes with. Sometimes I keep mine plain. Sometimes we'll use this organic teriyaki sauce we got from Costco. Both are really good. It's just kind of depending on how I feel that night, but this is a really good, delicious option to have, and it's high protein. Also, the barbecue teriyaki chicken is our top favorite. It's one of, I think, the better options to get frozen food wise. We already had 2 packages of it, so we didn't get any this time, but usually I would grab one of those too. And lastly, I grabbed some sweet potatoes because we love to just split one for lunch. So we'll have half a sweet potato, a cup of the veggies, and then one of the grilled chicken breasts. And wanting to make sure we hit 30 grams of protein per meal has been a really key component to making sure we keep our energy levels good, our cravings at bay, and it has really been something that's worked for us at this point. And the best version of myself would just stick with that system. So that's exactly what we did. I got about 4 or 5 of these, so that should last us all week. Those are the key things that I love to get every single week whenever we grocery shop. I know grocery shopping can be a little overwhelming, especially if you don't know exactly what you're going for. So I always make sure that I make a very clear, concise list before I go into the store so I know what I'm getting, because if I don't, I'm gonna go crazy, especially in the produce section. I will grab every kind of fruit you could imagine because I just feel like I need it. I'll grab all of these snacks and it just is a disaster, and my wallet cries. So we don't want that, and that girl would not do that. She'd go in with a plan. She would go in knowing exactly what she was going to eat and how she was going to use each ingredient that she buys. And doing that has seriously made such a big difference in as far as the cost and also just overall feeling so much healthier. So if you're feeling kind of stuck in a rut with your groceries, I hope you saw something in this haul that inspired you or maybe gave you some idea of something different to try in your routine. And yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get these put away. I actually am dyeing my hair today with the hair dye that I showed you yesterday. That's why I'm wearing a hat. It's best to dye your hair whenever it's dirty, and it's currently a grease ball right now. So I had to cover it up with a hat. But yeah, we're gonna get it colored and looking and feeling so much better today. As far as this whole That Girl journey, it's definitely just taking one step at a time and just doing what feels good and what aligns with you in that time. So don't feel like you have to go copy every single thing in this video. The whole point of it is just to inspire you and motivate you and maybe give you an idea of something that could help you if you're feeling stuck or just feeling like you need some rejuvenation. Because we've all been there. I definitely have been there in the past month or two, and doing all of this stuff has brought me out of it and has helped me gain some momentum. So I hope it can do that for you as well. I actually make a grocery list each week in Notion, and I have a whole list of anything I'd ever need to buy at the store or like things I buy on repeat. And I check and uncheck the box based on whether or not I need it that week. But I'm thinking about making a grocery store Notion template. So if that's something you'd be interested in, comment that down below and I can definitely create one for you, because I kind of want to revitalize mine a little bit and make it more efficient. But let me know if that's something that would help you out, because I would love to make one. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go put all of these groceries up, especially the frozen stuff, because it's been up for a little bit, and we will get to dyeing our hair in just a little bit. The time has come to channel my that girl hair and get rid of this red tinted brown. Not that there's anything wrong with red tinted hair, it is just not the vibe that I'm going for right now. But again, this is the hair dye that I'm using by Madison Reed. It's a medium cool brown. It's best to dye your hair whenever it is dirty, so I've refrained from using any hairspray or dry shampoo or any other product except some like leave-in conditioner on the ends. But I'll go ahead and insert the before clip now, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about with like these reddish streaks in my hair that just seem to be coming through quite a bit. You know, the process of this truly is kind of boring. I don't really enjoy it. I used to be like kind of nervous to do it, but I've done it so many times that I don't care anymore. But I have my little routine. I have a towel covering the entire sink. I set up my iPad and just make a playlist of YouTube videos that I want to watch and let them play while I just apply the hair color. So I am gonna go ahead, I'm trying to open this box to show you what it comes with, but it doesn't want to open. Here I am telling you I've done this before and I can't even open the box. So here is what it all comes with. So here is the hair dye, and then this is the actual color. So you just mix these two together, and then some gloves and a cap to put on before or while you let it like sit in your hair. And then they add in some like shampoo, conditioner. There's like this barrier cream you can put around your scalp and your skin so that the hair dye doesn't stain. And then also some little cleansing wipes as well. But that is all it is. All you do is you just mix these two together and apply it to your hair. I just section my hair off and get to work. If you're wanting to dye your hair, definitely make sure you're wearing a darker color if you're going a darker color, because it will stain most likely. So I always try to wear black long sleeves just because I get cold. So I feel like I'm pretty set up and ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and channel our that girl hair. We have the cut, now we just need the color. So let's go ahead and get rid of these little red tinges that are in my hair. So happy that it's done. Oh my goodness. I know it's not like a major before and after, but if you look at it closely, you can see what I'm saying. Like, you can see that it's actually a brown, like a pretty chocolate brown, and no red tints to it, especially down here in the ends. You can just see it's like a really pretty rich brown color. And I added some curls because I love to just style my hair after I do it, just to see how it all comes together. I'm very, very happy with it. It's not too dark. It's literally the perfect color that I was going for. So I'm so happy it's done. I feel like the cut is really good too. It's a little bit shorter than what I wanted, but it's totally okay. My hair grows pretty fast anyway, but I told her to take off what was dead and what needed to go. So I guess I just had a lot of dead ends. Hopefully this gives you a little inspiration to give yourself a little glow up if you're feeling like you're kind of down or you just need a little pick me up. And actually the mail came while I was dyeing my hair, and the Vita Liberata tanning mousse came in. So I have never seen a mousse come in a bottle like this, so I'm very intrigued to give this a try. But basically it just kind of sounds a little watery. I guess you have to shake it. It's insane the amount of ingredients I can't even pronounce on the other one that I was using, plus all of the dyes like red 40, yellow 5, blue 1000. I don't even remember the numbers, but just crazy like preservatives and just things I had no idea I was putting on my body. And if you Google some of those things, it's really, really terrifying. Like, I Googled the red 40 and it was like derived from petroleum or something. I don't know. I can't even believe I was using that, and I can't believe that's even approved to go into cosmetics and food. And then of course you have your other dyes too, but we're not doing that anymore. That girl does not put cancer-causing chemicals on her skin. She gets clean ingredient things that she crosses her fingers actually work. I will keep you guys updated on how this goes. If you've tried it, let me know in the comments what you think, if you have any tips. Hopefully this gives you some inspiration if you are needing a little pick-me-up to take that time for yourself and just rejuvenate and do those self-care things that make you feel really, really good. One thing I knew for sure when embarking on this journey was my habits and my routines were not serving me, okay? I was not happy. I was not motivated. I did not have a positive mindset. So I took a lot of time and I honed in on all of my habits and my routines and tried to figure out how could I change these to where they actually make me feel good. What would these look like if I was the best version of me, the most successful, the happiest, and just the girl that gets things done? This is such an incredibly crucial part of this journey because for me, routines and habits are the root of everything. It's the root of my mindset and my discipline, my motivation, my results of everything, my progress in my life. And if these things are off, I'm not going to see results in those other areas. So it was really, really important to figure this out. And I also realized that the best version of myself, she would actually take these things and put them into her schedule. I neglect certain areas of my life, and then those things end up just slipping through my fingers and I feel like I get behind and I can't catch up. Versus if I just go ahead and I schedule things that I need to get done, no matter what they are, whether it's on a weekly basis, daily basis, those things will never be neglected. They will never feel like they're slipping through the cracks. I think that was a big realization that I had, and I think that's a reason that a lot of people have a hard time like sticking to habits and routines because they don't feel like they have the time, when in reality we have a ton of time. We have way more time than what we think. It's just a matter of how you manage that time. I was struggling managing my time, okay? And I still am, but I have improved dramatically. I just needed to make sure I allotted time for these things so that they could grow. I was giving myself that time to water these things. I have picked up using Google Calendar again. I kind of let go of it for a while just because I used Notion in my actual planner. I think there's something to be said for having your whole day out in Google Calendar. You have more time than what you think. I wanted to take that limitation away from myself. I wanted to take away that excuse. I wanted to ball it up and throw it out the window because it just isn't valid anymore. It's not. she has all the time she needs. So what I did to really like visualize this stuff, I'm a very visual person. I had to get all this out of my head because it's just words flying around and ideas. So I took my little blue notebook here. I got this off Amazon. All the pages are already numbered in it. It has a table of contents. It's a really great spiral notebook if you're in the market for one. They have a whole bunch of different colors, but I just love this fun like blue color. I feel like it's just bright and happy. But this is like my brain dump to-do list, all things kind of notebook. It's for like master to-do lists and then taking the tasks from that to-do list and transferring it into my daily planner so that I have a place to just dump everything. Any ideas, any to-dos, any I want to's or need to's, they all go in this notebook. I love this. This has been a great system for me, and it's a good little tip if you're the same way, if you just need something to just dump all of your ideas or all of your random thoughts into. So I took things and broke them into categories. So I did my skincare, my life tasks, things for the cats, self-care, just all these different categories, and I listed everything I do within those things weekly. And then I assigned each thing I do weekly, I gave it a certain day and rewrote it into a weekly format. Just things that I have always let just go, they aren't let go anymore. They have their time to shine weekly, and the things that need to be done daily, they get done because they're in my schedule. But just seeing all of this out, designating a date and time for things to get done eliminates so many excuses for not doing those things. Plus, it just helps with so much kerfuffle. Is that a word? Kerfuffle? We're gonna make it a word today, but it eliminates a lot of kerfuffle within your noggin, because for me, I can think so much clearer when everything is written out for me. It's put where it needs to be, and I just have to execute. As far as my routines, it took me some time to really hone these in, because like, for instance, the biggest shift that I made took me probably a few weeks to like adjust to, but I'm good now, was not having my coffee the first thing whenever I wake up. I learned this is so bad for me between my hormones, spiking your stress levels. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, your blood sugar. Like, it spikes your blood sugar. Like, no wonder I was breaking out and I just kept crashing. I knew this was a habit that I had to stop. I had been doing this for so long, so the fact that I was breaking something I had been basically programming myself to do for years at this point was really hard, but I'm really proud of myself for actually making that change. So now, instead of having my coffee immediately whenever I wake up, I have a breakfast that is at least 30 grams of protein. I'm actually doing 30-30-30, and my energy levels have been so different. I would seriously crash within like an hour of drinking coffee. I would get so hungry and so weak feeling, and I would like eat something sweet, which would spike my blood sugar again, and then it would crash again a little bit later, and then I would eat, and then I'd get a little bit of energy, and then I would crash again. Or even worse, I would have another cup of coffee and repeat the process. And that was just so toxic. And I knew that this is not something that the version of me that is fit and healthy and energized and happy, this is not something she would do. And if you're the same way where you're wanting to change something, just start. I'm telling you, just start and you will master it. It will be uncomfortable at first. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable, you're doing something right within like your routine and reason, not in other aspects. You know what I mean? If you are able to leave your comfort zone and do something different in your routine to be and feel healthier, that is power, okay? That is taking your power back and giving you your energy and giving you just so much self-respect because you actually care enough to make that change. And that is super cool. And whenever you feel the accomplishment of that change, it's amazing to just have that momentum to carry you through other things. So if you're feeling like you need to change some aspect of your routine, just try it. Just take your time and just keep trying things until you find what does work, because I promise you there is something that will work. I also have struggled really badly with acne scars. I've had them since I was a teenager. I've missed out on so many things, just events, and because I felt so insecure about them, I have decided and come to my own realization, and I already knew this, it's just that they're never gonna go away unless I make them go away. I had this like delusional idea that they would just fade one day, which, I mean, some do fade with age, but they're not gonna truly go away unless I do something to make them go away. So I completely revamped my skincare routine, and I'll show you that right now. If you are struggling with acne scars, I've only been doing this for about 2 months, so I can't say whether or not it's working already. My skin does feel much softer than what it did, but I can definitely keep you guys updated as to how it works and if they fade. I start with, I actually use a cleanser from Trader Joe's. It's their all-in-one facial cleanser, and it's just a really simplistic cleanser. I also love the CeraVe one. And then to remove my makeup, I've been using the micellar cleansing water, and I use the all-in-one mattifying just because I do have oily skin. I just put this on a cotton pad, and I'm able to take off my mascara, my foundation, and everything else, and it just doesn't burn. It's not harsh on your skin or anything. It doesn't feel dry. Now, as far as actually removing scars, I've been using my glycolic acid 7% toning solution. The purpose of this is to basically get away any of those dead skin cells off your face so that you can have a very glowy complexion. So right after that, I use my alpha arbutin 2% and hyaluronic acid. So this is also hydrating because it has hyaluronic acid in it, but the I cannot talk today. But the alpha arbutin, there we go, is a serum basically meant to remove dark spots. So I use this, like I said, right after the glycolic acid. And then after that, I use the azelaic acid suspension 10% multifunctional brightening formula, and this is also for brightening up any like hyperpigmentation. And then right after that, I just moisturize with the CeraVe daily moisturizing lotion. I just get a little tiny one because it lasts me for so long. And then twice a week is derma stamping. So I have been terrified of microneedling, especially microneedling myself. Just the idea of little tiny needles going into my skin's a little unattractive. I got to the point where I'm like, this apparently works for everybody else, and everybody else has, you know, results with it. So I'm just gonna give it a shot, see what happens, and we'll go from there. So I got this one off Amazon. I will link it in my description box. I suggest you do your own research before you start derma stamping, but I worked my way up to doing it twice a week. I started on the lowest needle length and then did it once a week and worked up to like from a 0.5 to a, I think like a 1.2 or 1.5. I don't remember what I did last week, but more than a 0.5, and I do it twice a week because I want to give my skin time to actually heal. But this actually promotes collagen production in your skin, so it's going to help to also take away those scars as well. So we'll see how this skincare routine works, but this is another way I feel like I'm channeling that girl, because she would have a skincare routine that serves her. And I love The Ordinary because it is affordable, the ingredients are very minimal, and I have had really great experiences with them. Just make sure you do your own research because everyone's skin's different, everyone's skin's goals are different. This is just what works for me, and I will definitely keep you updated as to the results. Arguably the most important part of this entire That Girl journey is changing my mindset. If you saw my 2024 reset, a really big goal of mine was to reprogram my subconscious into being more positive. And to me at that time, it just meant like, oh, I need to think more positively. I need to be a solution-based thinker. But girl, let me tell you, I went way in more depth than what I ever thought that I would, because not only does reprogramming your subconscious like allow you to think positively, but it's on a physiological level. Your thoughts and your emotions truly change your biology, and they change your physiology. I'd been lying to myself for so long and telling myself these stories that were just not true. So I have been on a journey of controlling my thoughts and emotions because they truly do create your reality. I dove headfirst into Joe Dispenza's work, Tony Robbins. I actually attended his Time to Rise Summit this past January, and it was just so eye-opening. I would really recommend looking into Joe Dispenza and reading his books, watching his podcasts, and the same thing with Tony Robbins, because it will seriously pull you out of your head. It has been quite the journey, and I'm still on it, still doing the work, because it does take time. You're rewiring things you told yourself for your entire life, or even just years and years, that need to be changed. And I would love to dive deeper into this in its own video video. So if that's something that you would really like, let me know in the comments. But it's something that I have been truly passionate about, especially learning how involved that this is. Those two have been my mentors through all of this and have been incredibly life-changing. But there are a couple mindsets that I have really been honing in on and have been keeping at the forefront of my mind, which Tony Robbins says that the fastest way to mastery is immersion. So I have literally been immersing myself into books and podcasts and just everything I can, because if you really think about it, we are all energy. The things that we want in this life are also energy. They run on a particular frequency, and if you don't match that frequency, you're not going to attract those things to you. And by changing your thoughts and your emotions, you change your frequency, and by changing your frequency, you will attract a new reality to you. But anytime that you speak negatively or complain or think these negative thoughts and you don't catch yourself and you don't change your state, then you're just going to keep pushing away those things that you're wanting to create so badly. But one of the quotes that I heard this month, I believe it was from Jim Rohn, but he says to not set the goal for the sake of having the goal. Set the goal for the person that you have to become to achieve that goal, which was mind-blowing to me, because in my head, like, I had kind of like pushed off the idea of ever even being like a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, because in my head I was like, I don't need that much money to live comfortably. I don't need that to be my dream life. That is such a limiting belief. Like, it's not about needing the $1 million or multi-millions. It's about who I become in growing myself to earn those multi-millions. And that is what I want to strive for. The person that has the G-Wagon, that has the beautiful home that they love and the assets and the business, and they just have the habits and routines of someone that can build an empire like that. And that is essentially the goal. You're not setting the goal of earning multi-millions just because, oh, I want the money. Like, no, you're going to become a completely different person, the version of you you want to be, because more likely than not, if you can sit there and picture the version of yourself that is ideal, that you would dream of being, they would have those things, or they would have the means to have those things, and that is what you want to tune into. So I always just held that limiting belief of like, oh, I don't really need $1 million, like I can live comfortably without getting that much money. But in all honesty, like, I want to have that discipline, that motivation, that mindset, and show up as like that, just that boss woman. And that would just it gets me fired up. Can you tell? I just get so excited. I have chills because it gets me so pumped. It's there for me to grab. I can do it, and you can too. So if there's a goal that you feel like is like, oh, it's a little too much, I don't know if I can do that, set the goal to have that. I'm telling you, if that is something that you truly want and that would make you happy, do it, because you will become the person that you want to be and create the life that you dream of. This is a quote from Mel Robbins, and it kind of ties into the last mindset we just talked about, but it's about saying that acting like the person you want to be isn't faking it till you make it. It's making the choice, the conscious choice to be that person. Because if you can embody the feelings and the habits and the mindset of that person now, you will become that person. You will channel that person. That's a way of changing your physiology of your body and your emotions and your thoughts, because you're going to attract those things to you just by stepping into that version that you want to be. There is no reason for you to wait and feel gratitude once you've gotten the car of your dreams or the home of your dreams or your bank account hits a certain number. There's no reason you can't feel gratitude and love and happiness right now, even if you just think about having those things and feel like you've already experienced having those. You will step into that version that you want to be, I promise, and it will come so much quicker. So I just loved hearing her say that it's not acting like you have to fake it till you make it. It's making that conscious choice to become that person. This quote from Joe Dispenza applies to pretty much everything. It's where your attention goes, energy flows. If you're focused on the negative, you're gonna get nothing but negativity. You're not gonna see any positive things come in, no synchronicities opportunities, no coincidences, versus if you focus on the good things, you focus on what you're grateful for, your vibration will raise and you will hit that frequency of attracting those good things to you that you actually want. This is an incredibly important mindset to take through your day to day, because if you sit there and you dwell on how much someone made you mad, you are doing nothing but giving them your energy. No one deserves your energy but you. It's too precious and you need to value it, and to not waste our energy on all of this negative stuff, because ultimately it doesn't matter. It doesn't do us any good, so why are we giving it our energy? We want to give our energy to things that are going to serve us, things that are going to make us better people, better versions of ourselves, and give us the life of our dreams and help us achieve our goals. So that's really what you have to ask yourself is this serving me? Is this going to matter a week from now, a month from now, a year from now? If the answer is no, you need to let it go. A key way he talked about being able to do this is to rehearse in your head the kind of person you want to be. What are the choices you want to make? How do you respond to certain things in your environment? And that is what you should do. You need to rehearse that in your head before you even get out of bed in the morning, or just keep reminding yourself like, okay, this is how I'm going to respond to this, because most likely if you're waking up dreading the day, you're already predicting your day. You're taking everything that has already happened in the past and taking all of those emotions and applying them to that day, because you know and can already predict how you're going to feel. And that's going to cause you to basically be living in your past. You don't want to live in your past, okay? We want to create our future. So we want to rehearse in our heads, okay, what kind of person do I want to be today? How do I want to react to certain situations? How can I respond to things better? And don't get out of bed until you rehearse that in your head and you know how you're going to act that day, because I promise you it will make the biggest difference. All right, you guys, so that is going to wrap up today's video on embarking our That Girl journey. You've got this. I believe in you, and I really hope this video gave you the little nudge that you might have needed. If 2024 hasn't been the best year so far for you, or you feel like it didn't start the way you wanted it to, it is totally okay. Let's turn the page now. You have plenty of time to still hit your goals, and you are going to still make this year amazing. I'm right here with you. I'm cheering for you, and I know that you can do it. I plan on having some more videos going in more depth on routines and habits and just the things I'm learning and implementing throughout this journey. And if you are interested in that or would like to hear any of that, please give me a thumbs up and comment down below if that would, and if you have anything in particular that you'd like to see, because I just want to be here to help you all and go through this journey together. But I really hope that you enjoyed this video and it gave you some inspiration or motivation. Thank you so much for watching, and if you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm so grateful for you all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!